Speaking of your neuroses, let's go back to your time on Drag Race for a little bit. Now, what were you expecting when you went in, and then how different was it once you got there?
Well, I actually feel like I got what I was expecting, you know? I mean, by the time I was on Drag Race, I had been doing drag for just under 10 years.
Right.
So I've met every kind of bitch out there, you know?
Right.
I've learned how to work with a lot of different people. And a lot of the reason why I'm kind of more receded and withdrawn is because I kind of like to observe everyone. I like to kind of assess who's going to be a problem and who can I confide in and stuff like that. So it takes me a while to warm up to people until I've sized them up a little bit.
Yeah. Because there was a lot of debate about you while you were there on the show.
Well, I totally get it, because here's the thing that we don't spend a lot of time talking about when you go to Drag Race is that we're all at different economic levels. We're all at different levels of our drag. For me, I spent so long and spent so many years focusing on the performance aspect of it.
Right.
And learning what it takes to be a good show host and what it takes to be a good live singer and stuff like that. That was my focus for so long that I kind of never really gave a shit about my makeup or my costumes. You know, like, because I could get out there in basic makeup, a black dress, and a basic bob wig, and sing for 2 hours, and people are going to remember the singing, not the outfit. But Drag Race, it's all about taking whatever you already do and taking it to 100% and fully realizing it. And the best words that Ru said to me was like, you can be the quirky, crazy person that you are, but why not also be gorgeous while you do it?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I bet I would get... I'd attract a broader group of people if I looked a little less batshit insane, you know? So, I mean, the skills were there, I just needed to hone them. And Drag Race was, you know, I don't regret a single moment of it. Like, I'm glad people got to see me go through a little bit of a transformation, because you get to see how much work we actually put into this. You know, this isn't easy. Even if you've been doing it for 20 years and you have all the pageant jewelry and you're dripping in jewels, ain't gonna make you a better actress, you know? That's the kind of stuff you either have or you don't have, and then some people realize they have it on the show. And that's amazing to watch that. You know, Roxy had no idea that she was hilarious.
Right.
But she's hilarious.
Yeah.
Alyssa had no idea
Not a clue.
that she was hilarious. One day, we were done filming, they brought us Whataburger, and Alaska's eating her sandwich and just glowering at Alyssa, and Alyssa's like, looking at Alaska, and Alaska's just like, And Alyssa's like, what? And she goes, when I first met you, I thought you were the devil. And Alyssa was like, you know, like, me, Baba, me, Miss Mary, Baba. But we explained to her that, you know, like, you're actually the funniest person here. And you don't even have to think about it. You don't have to do anything. And she said, you know, so like,
that's a good tongue pop, Jaymes.
I was there at the conception of it.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, like, now look at Alyssa. Like, she, I don't think she realized what a unique person she was until she went on Drag Race and got to watch it back. And now that's her whole gig. Now she's squirping and chirping.
Squirping, lurping, derping, derping, skirping, derping, getting up in that gig, mama.
I like to do an impression of Alyssa, like, degrading into Bill Cosby.
Oh, yeah?
Like,
can you give it to me?
I am not the one, mama. I am not the one, mama. Like, sooner or later, it just, you know, becomes burbles and
Gurbles and burbles and lurbles and chirping. Once you got off Drag Race, was that a difficult transition into being suddenly super famous, or were you like, I'm ready for it?
I was ready for my career to take that big step forward. I don't think I was ready to be such a public personality.
Right.
One of the best things pre-Drag Race was I could take off the costume and people wouldn't recognize me. You know, like, lots of people actually thought for years that I was a real woman doing drag, like a bio queen, you know, and I kind of liked that. Not like that's the goal, is to convince everyone you're a real woman,
right?
But I like that mystery, and that tells me I'm playing the part well, because they can't tell, you know, what's going on under my skirt. And so I've had people come up to me and be like me out of drag saying, oh, I met this wonderful trans woman last night, JINKX, and I was like, oh, like, what do you mean trans woman? And they're like, well, she had real tits, and she was obviously on hormones for years. And
wow.
I was like, none of it's true, but thank you.
I know her.
I just have boobs. I didn't take the hormones. I just got them. I just got them. Even when I was my skinniest, I'm going to ruin, I've always had my sensible little A cup, you know? Even when I was super skinny, I still had boobs.
Certainly helpful for a drag queen.
It is. It's just that little extra meat.
Now, what about dealing with your personal and love life while everybody, you're surrounded by race chasers, obsessive fans? You can't really get away from it because everyone knows you out of drag and in drag from the show. How have you been able to maneuver that?
Well, I mean, like I said, I miss my obscurity a little bit. I miss kind of, you know, just being sometimes you want to just be able to say what's ever on your mind without people dissecting it and trying to find hidden meanings and try to figure out, ooh, she's probably throwing shade at this person, when sometimes you're just talking,
right.
You know, like you're not even thinking, you're drunk, whatever. But actually, my love life has improved in ways. My sex life has improved.
Well, right.
My sex life has improved.
Is that because of race chasers too? Because I met someone in London who was like, JINKX MONSOON when she came here. Yeah, if we had sex, it was real fun. And I was like, oh, well, I'm sure she's glad that you're telling me about that.
I like having sex. I'm a sexually liberal person.
Yes.
I think the best thing that happened to my sex life post Drag Race is that it's kind of hard to explain, but I never identified fully male. I always identified more gender fluid or gender ambiguous, you know. But I never really knew the vocabulary to explain it for myself. Because, of course, I've known trans people my whole life. Yeah. But I used to see the world in so much of a binary. I think we've all been conditioned to see it male versus female. Right. And now that I'm like, I don't have a day job. I don't have to fit in to society. I can wear whatever I want on my days off, and I don't have to have eyebrows, or I can paint my eyebrows on. And, you know, I get mistaken for a woman more when I'm out of drag, just at the grocery store, than when I'm actually in drag. But embracing that in myself meant that I started to embrace the fact that there are a lot of people out there who really like, you know, gender fluid, third gendered people, you know? So I'm meeting all these hot guys who would have been into me all this time if I only knew how to find them, you know?
Yes, the greatest personal ad ever made. Thanks, RuPaul.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, and I proudly state that I'm JINKX MONSOON on Grindr. It's actually easier than like trying to be sexy, you know, like sup, and trying to pass off some kind of butch persona, because I think that's what they want, and then halfway through they realize I'm JINKX, and then it's like, oh, hey, queen, you know, like, so now I just get it all, excuse me, now I just get it all out in the open, you know,
that's good, that's
people
good.
know what they're getting, and I don't know, I've had some amazing sex on the road,
I
thanks
bet.
to it, all across the world. I'm spreading my various spreadables all around the world.
Now, spreadable. Well, we have a couple of questions from Reddit. Right, Adam?
Questions from Reddit. Ooh, you shady bitch.
They are shady, but they do ask good questions. So we got a couple here. I'll start with the shadiest. JINKX, was the sex with Magnolia Crawford good or not?
Let me tell you the story about Magnolia Crawford.
Okay.
I still have PTSD from that sound. It's like I hear that. It's like Drag Race was my nom.
If only they actually played those sound effects while you were really there.
I know, it would have been so much easier to know when someone's being a bitch.
You're like, what? That was shade. That was shade.
Magnolia Crawford and I met in Seattle ages ago. She was taking a hiatus from drag, so I had no idea she was a drag queen.
Oh, right.
She had no idea I was a drag queen because, like I said, this was a time where I didn't fully embrace my own gender identity. So, like, in meeting boys, I really tried to be a boy because, you know, there was such a stigma back in the day around being a drag queen.
Even just like 5 or 6 years ago, it's not like it is now.
Being a drag queen was like wearing a scarlet letter, like a big red D on your dick or something, you know? Like,
if you do have a big red D on your dick, you should get that checked.
But, so yeah, I used to try to really like play up, I'm a boy. They'd ask what I do, and I'd be like, oh, I'm a actor, but I would never mention the drag. So it never came up in conversation between Magnolia and I. And I think on our second date, we slept together. Then years later, I'm on Drag Race. Then the next year, she's on Drag Race. And I was so excited because I could not wait to start telling stories about when I hooked up with, because the sex was great.
Oh, okay, good.
Zero complaints on the sex. We
Very
had great
nice.
sex together. But I was so excited to tell the stories and be like, oh, little do you guys know, I've actually slept with another Drag Race girl. Then I saw her episode. Then I didn't tell the stories.
Please cut to Lady Red in the fan.
No, then I thought I'd give it some time. We gave it some breathing room. But no, then a year later, I worked it into my show. And she knows I love her. We've always been good. She's a sweet, sweet boy.
Oh, good.
I didn't know anything about her drag, though, until she went on Drag Race. So,
you didn't be like, I'm going to put this tiny little nose right inside your asshole.
Oh, that mosquito needle. But she's so great, and she's so funny. And have you seen her photo editing where she makes us all look like terrible monsters?
No, I have not.
Oh, it's the best.
Yes.
It's on her Instagram. She photoshops the hell out of us until we look disgusting. And I'm obsessed with it.
Wonderful. We'll have to check that out. Okay. Which drag queens from Drag Race past are you closest to? Since you've been on tour, who's most annoying? Who do you like hanging out with, etc.?
I'm not saying this to be all like, you know, water off a duck's backy or anything, but I get along with all the girls. Like, I mean, on tour, you're in a pressure cooker.
Right.
You know, imagine
bus, right?
Imagine 8 queens in like 2 dressing rooms.
Yeah.
And all of them think they're the biggest deal there, you know?
Right.
Because each and every one of us are.
Yes.
But huge personalities in small spaces, it can get difficult. So, of course, even the queens I love the most, I've had my little cat fights with, but
it's easy
we
to
all
put it
get
away
along
after.
Oh yeah, because like, what's going to happen? You're going to spend a month and a half hating someone.
Yeah.
You just learn to love everyone for their own quirky personalities. Like I'll say, Violet and I probably didn't get along for about a week when we started on tour together. And we were fine, we were civil, but were we like kiki cacaing backstage? Probably not.
You weren't cacaing?
Not cacaing. But by the end of the tour, God, were we just like such good friends. She actually stayed in my apartment in Seattle when she was doing a show there, because Seattle's a big burlesque community, and Violet is doing wonderful things in burlesque, teaming up with Dida Von Teese and all that, which I'm personally jealous of. So I can now say that Violet's been in my bed because she slept in my bed.
Oh my! Exclusive!
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Jinx, how have your familial relationships evolved since the taping of Drag Becomes Him, your documentary?
Oh, you know.
Because there was some stuff with your dad in that, right?
Yeah, I mean, Drag Becomes Him was a lot of fun to make. You know, it was. I still can't believe people want to watch an hour and a half of home videos of me. But it was, you know, it actually brought a lot of conversations forward that I had never had with my family, especially my dad. Because even though there's never been any bad blood between me and my dad about being gay or being a drag queen or anything, we've just never had the conversation.
Right.
And then in the movie, he spouts off all this, like, amazingly insightful, really, you know, inspiring stuff. And I'm like, I had no idea.
Where's this
I had no idea. But yeah, my whole family, we've gotten really close in the last couple of years. I won't say because of Drag Race and because of the movie, but we've just had like, I don't know, there's not many of us left. The Hoffers are a dying breed. We were not made to live long.
Okay. Wow.
lots of complications in that bloodline, so I'll be adopting. But no, we're really, like, my brothers are just amazing. And my younger brother Jeremy has his daughter Chloe. She's 3 years old now, and she's just like, she's the absolute best thing in the whole wide world.
Amazing.
You know, she's much smarter than other 3-year-olds. And I'm not just saying that because I'm her aunt, but she understands things. And the best thing that my brother did for me, I mean, he did it for her and he did it because this is what he believes, but she has no concept of strict gender rules.
Oh.
She calls me Uncle Jinx, she calls me Auntie Jinx, she calls me Uncle Jarek. Auntie Jarek, like she just calls me whatever she feels like in the moment or whatever I most look like at the time.
Right.
Like if I have a beard, she's more inclined to call me male pronouns, but if I'm clean shaven, it's all female pronouns. And I love that this 3-year-old is already learning that people can be both either or neither, you know.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That is amazing. Let's see, we got time for one more.
I talk a lot.
Well, darling, that's what you're here for. This show isn't called Queen. It's called Hey Qween. Oh, this is a good one. Thank you for that, by the way. That's normally Lady Red's job to do that.
I love those cuts to her, just wide-eyed. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm watching TV now.
Last one. You and Dela are both fan favorites, but you've had more success on the show itself. How do you keep professional jealousy from affecting your friendship? Has that been an issue?
Dela and I have always had, because we both worked in Seattle for so long before either of us were on Drag Race, we've always had a friendly, competitive streak to each other, to our relationship, but it's never prevented us from working together. We worked on so many projects together. She wrote me into her annual Christmas show, Home for the Holidays, that she does every year.
Right.
And, you know, like in the spirit of friendly competition, it's like she plays the glamorous hostess in her perfect sequins red and green outfit, and I played the Dickensian street urchin covered in soot wearing a little ragamuffin bonnet and stuff. But she's always said to me, like, I had to befriend you so that you wouldn't be my competition in town. But we've also, like, we've taken different avenues. I hosted the show Le Faux at the Cabaret Julia's for like 2 years, which is a celebrity impersonation show. And she hosted all the burlesque shows. So we were both doing our own thing simultaneously alongside each other. And nowadays, you know, my favorite thing she said, because we're both obsessed with Death Becomes Her. The best compliment Dela has ever given me is one day she just goes, well, I want to do Death Becomes Her as a show with you, but now you're the Meryl. I loved that.
Of course you did.
It was a huge compliment coming from her.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Well, Jinx, thank you so much for being here, honey. It's been so much fun. And darling, not only did you win Drag Race, not only have you won our heart, but darling, you snatched a trophy, honey. Yes! Here you go, another to add to your shelf. And you've also won yourself a lap dance. Oh, wow, he's like a little puppy dog. Yeah, get in there. Don't block her face. Yeah, give it to him good. Give it to him good. Yeah, oh, yeah.
No, you're wearing too much deodorant. I'm sorry. No, whenever a boy has smelly armpits, it makes me less homesick for Seattle.
Come on, kid, work that big ass. Yeah.
I never know what to do during a lap dance. I'm like, where did you go to? There you go. Where did you go to school? What did you study? What are your aspirations?
Lady Red, take us
If
out
you had a
with the Black Lady
superpower,
Red.
what would it be? Hey, Qween! What's your favorite popsicle
Yes. All right, turn it around, Jared. Give her the ass right on the crotch. Yes. All you click on through to the Hey Qween after show. Look at all where Jaymes is going to be looking at all of her favorite queens from Drag Race, and we'll get some shade and tea. Well, thank you, Jaymes. Thank you, Lady Red. Thank you, Adam. And thank you, baby. We'll see you next time on Hey Qween. Bye, baby.
Thanks so much.